Disclaimer: I am not a SEBI-registered analyst. This video is for educational and discussion purposes only. Please do your own research or consult professionals before making any investment or geopolitical decisions. Is the trade war a chess game or a minefield? Donald Trump's tariff tsunami shook global markets, but what really drove it? While the headlines focused on trade deficits and Made in America, there were deeper layers, strategic motives that weren't always visible in the public debate. So let's dive into 10 less talked about rationales behind Trump's infamous tariff war, things you didn't see on CNN or mainstream news. First, geopolitical weapon, not just economics. The tariffs weren't just about balancing trade numbers, they were subtle pressure tactics used not only on China but also on long-standing allies like Canada, the European Union, and Mexico. For example, China's growing dominance in Africa, the South China Sea tensions, and global supply chain control. Trump's tariffs sent a signal: if you compete with United States influence, we'll hit you economically. So was this war about trade, or was it quiet warfare for global power projection? Second, re-industrializing Rust Belt America, Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania. These weren't just battleground states, they were the heart of America's manufacturing decline. For decades, factories closed, jobs went overseas. Tariffs promised a revival, bringing back blue-collar jobs and local production. Was this Trump's real strategy for winning in 2020, to restore dignity to forgotten regions? Third, creating bargaining chips for new deals. Tariffs weren't always meant to be permanent. They were used like leverage in a poker game. A classic example: NAFTA. Trump criticized it, imposed tariffs on steel and aluminum, and eventually replaced it with USMCA, a deal seen as more favorable to the United States. The message: use chaos to create new order. Were tariffs a negotiation tactic disguised as economic warfare? Fourth, challenging WTO's soft power. For years, the World Trade Organization acted like the global referee of trade, but Trump had other ideas. He believed the WTO was biased, slow, and ineffective. So he started acting unilaterally, imposing tariffs without waiting for WTO rulings. The statement was clear: America first, WTO later. This shook the foundations of global cooperation. Do institutions like the WTO need an upgrade in the post-Trump era? Fifth, targeting intellectual property theft. Now this one's critical. One of the biggest United States accusations against China was intellectual property theft, forced tech transfers, and corporate espionage. American companies claimed they were being forced to share their secrets to operate in China. So the tariffs weren't just about steel or soybeans, they were about protecting innovation, artificial intelligence, pharma, defense, software. Was it a war to defend the future of American creativity? Sixth, crippling China's 5G and artificial intelligence dreams. China had ambitious plans: Made in China 2025, and global tech leadership in 5G, artificial intelligence, and robotics. So Trump's team went for the jugular. Tariffs hit semiconductors, rare earth materials, telecom equipment. The idea: slow down China's tech rise, disrupt their timelines, and block access to key components. But can trade tools really stop a tech race? Or did it only accelerate China's self-reliance? Seventh, inflation hedge via domestic sourcing. Here's something most missed. By making Chinese goods expensive, tariffs nudged companies to reshore production to the United States, or shift supply chains to Mexico, India, Vietnam. Long-term, this could reduce inflation risks linked to global disruptions like COVID-19, or geopolitical flare-ups. It was a risky move in the short term, but possibly a hedge against future shocks. Eighth, satisfying nationalist base rhetoric. They're taking our jobs. This was more than a chant. It became policy. Trump had a large base of economic nationalist people who believed in Buy American, Hire American. So, tariffs were a way to visibly walk the talk. Whether they worked or not, they showed action. Was this more about perception than performance? Ninth, fueling tariff revenue to offset deficits. This one's financial. While tariffs are a tax on imports, they also generate billions in revenue. That money quietly flowed into the United States Treasury, helping to offset fiscal deficits caused by tax cuts and government spending. But here's the twist: United States importers and consumers paid most of the cost. So yes, the government earned, but at what price? 10th, psychological game, unpredictability as strategy. This one is peak Trump. Markets love stability. But Trump weaponized uncertainty. One tweet and markets panicked. One vague press conference and currencies moved. Tariffs were used like mood-based bombs. They created confusion in China's strategy rooms and on Wall Street. Was this unpredictability intentional game theory, or just chaotic leadership? Final thoughts, strategy or stumble? Was the trade war a masterclass in global negotiation, or a dangerous experiment that disrupted alliances and increased global uncertainty? Economists are still debating the long-term impact. Some United States jobs did return, some supply chains diversified, but costs rose, diplomacy suffered. Your turn. Do you think Trump's tariffs were smart chess moves or economic landmines? Drop your thoughts in the comments, let's get the discussion going. And if you learned something new, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into economics, markets, and geopolitics. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more insights every week. DM or comment what topic you want next.